All right, so let's transition real quick because you've hit on a lot of different good stuff. You've talked about computers, you've talked about microphones, you've talked about setting up your home studio, closets, even using clothes to buffer that sound. And one thing that you kept mentioning over and over is the contrast between quality and expense. So what is a safe area, a safe range? And you said several times, depending on your budget. But for most people, even if money wasn't an option, where should they find themselves landing when it comes to spending money for their first home studio?
I wouldn't spend more than $500 on that, because if you already have the computer, the most costly thing you already have. Microphones are not going to be that expensive, depending on what you want to do. So to me, the basic needs that you guys want to have on a personal studio, or a DAW, as we call it, digital audio workstation, would be basically having a microphone. I wouldn't go under $100. If I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't go under $100 to have a microphone. I would, spend a little more money on that end, because that is the one that's going to showcase who we are. So we have to be smart investing in that particular thing. Computers are all the same. They're going to do the same thing. This one, the other one, Mac, PC, it doesn't matter. But the microphone will become the differentiated point that we need to understand. The better it is, the better we're going to sound. We don't want to go way too up, because then we're going to have a problem that is too much background noise and things of that nature. I'm going to need acoustic treatment. I don't want to go there. But a microphone that would be between the ranges of $100 to probably $300, I would be on the safe side there to have something that's really going to represent me every time that I'm going to be recording it. Other than that, if you select a microphone that's going to be USB, I don't think you're going to even spend those $300, even though we have mics that are more expensive than that, USB, I mean. But I wouldn't go to something unnecessary just yet. When you guys see money coming in because of the things that you are doing with that equipment, then it's time to upgrade. And believe me, guys, once you start getting into this dynamic of having a personal studio, it won't stop. Upgrading won't stop. Not because you're going to be forced to do that. It's because you're going to want to. Because the more you learn about these things and the more you get used to working with these kind of equipment, you're going to want more. You're going to want better quality. You're going to want to sound even more professional. So that upgrading process will never stop. They told me that a number of years ago, and it's true. To me, it has been, something that I'm constantly doing, even though that I have equipment that has been with me for more than 20 years, because you will have those things. A good microphone is an investment in itself. The Neumann TLM 103 that I use has been with me around 25 years now, and it's still going strong, and that thing can last a lifetime. So if you look at the investment that you need to do, probably a $100 mic, $300 mic will have a lifetime. Shorter, but those microphones will last a lifetime if you take proper care of it. So it depends on where you want to go. But in this case, I would say that you guys can have easily, if you already own a computer, you can have a studio up and running with less than $300 to $500. I don't think you need to spend more money than that.
And thank you for saying that, because you said something that's really important. I want to make sure that everybody heard that. This is something that I use in my personal life and use it with all of the people that I mentor and coach as well. Your success drives the upgrade. So exactly. You said it beautifully, where staying within the range anywhere between about $500, anywhere between there, and then once you start to see the income coming in, then from that point upgrade, because now your business is beginning to take care of you and indicate the level of growth to the next level that you need to take. So thank you for saying that. And I want to make sure everybody heard that as well. I want to take a quick transition. But before I take this transition, because we are at about 23 minutes, but before I take this transition, let's talk about software. in the industry right now, specifically in the audio industry, music specifically, Pro Tools is something that is driving the market. Everybody wants to use Pro Tools. What is, from your experience, the best kind of software that a voice actor needs?
I would stick between three that I normally use, but I'm going to recommend one which I think is the most user-friendly and cost-effective to you guys, and that would be Adobe Audition. Because Pro Tools, and I'm going to do the comparison, for example. I'm going to talk about Logic Pro, which is the Mac native audio editing software that Mac has. Pro Tools, which, as Philip said, it's the broadcast industry standard. If you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say here, and Audition will be also an industry standard for more on the broadcasting side than on the production side of things. But let's see costs. Pro Tools, either you can purchase it outright or you can rent it, a monthly payment. It would set you back around $30 every month, which is, not a big deal to have. But again, do you really need that thing? Because it is a very professional tool. Not that Audition isn't, because they do exactly the same things. But Pro Tools is a little bit more complex, a little bit less user-friendly, and requires a lot more stuff around it to make it work properly. So I wouldn't go there if I were you in terms of beginners, right? I would go to Audition, because Audition brings a bundle of other things that you can use and make more of the money you're going to be paying. Same thing. It's a monthly payment. I think it's $50. Students get it around 19 or $20 a month, something like that. But you're getting not only Audition, you're getting, a number of other softwares that, if you ask me, I get a bigger bang for the buck in that matter. Logic is something that is designed for musicians, for record production. It is more complicated. I use it on a daily basis to record voiceovers. It works. I'm not going to lie, but it is complicated. It is something else. It works in a very different way. If you ask me, software, Audition. That would be the most friendliest and the most cost-effective. And by the way, it would be the one that would have you understanding the ins and outs of audio editing in no time. Okay.
I like it. We've got some people that have asked, so I'm gonna let, is it Kelvin? Kelvin, I'm gonna open up the floor and let you ask your question real quick.
All right, how you guys doing?
Hello, sir.
You're talking about software. What about Audacity? That's free.
I'm going to be honest with that. You're going to find a ton of editing softwares out there: Audacity, Cubase, Steinberg, you name it. In terms of professional work, I wouldn't go away from those three that I just mentioned. I don't even consider taking a look at other softwares, because these are the ones, first of all, you got to think about something. These are the softwares that you're probably going to find with a client, with a production house, with a recording studio that you're going to be working for. So you need to have the same language. When you go to different other things, even though you're going to get, a file that could be an MP3 or a WAV, okay, it can work. I'm not going to say it doesn't. If you have it and you don't want to spend more money, use it. Okay? But professionally speaking, my world would be those three. And probably everybody else is doing exactly the same thing, because that's what you're going to see every time that you visit a studio, every time that you go to a production. It doesn't matter. These guys are always using those. That's why they are the industry standards. The others exist, but it's like, and I'm going to put it in perspective here. Same thing that I did with the previous question. If I have, for example, doing that thing or that project with Audacity, to me, would be the equivalent of doing a recording instead of Audition, Pro Tools, or Logic, doing it with GarageBand. It's good, it does the job, but it was something that was done for home purpose recordings and things of that nature. It is not, to me, a professional tool if you look at it, because of the different things that we can do with those. Remember, it's not only the possibilities of editing software. Anybody can do that, and any other software can do it with no problem at all. The other thing is that when it comes to, do you have equalizers? Do you have compressors? Do you have normalizers? Do you have the plugins that you need to make that thing sound professional? I guess you might have one or two, but not all of them. That's why these three softwares are fully loaded with all the things that you need to do a professionally sounding project. That's why I normally recommend going on those three directions.
I just had to laugh because you said GarageBand in comparison. And I just had to smile because I could literally see somebody doing that, thinking they're cutting the corner and you're really setting your project back.